Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon, Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And I want to talk about your motherfucking weekend. That's right, this motherfucking week. Because it's always important to know where these motherfucking lights or emitting energies, it's always important to know what space of the body that they are in at the moment. Because that's how we kind of can feel and pick up what we're actually being influenced by. And the better we know this, the better we know what to be influenced by and what not to be influenced by, based upon our own solar system and things of that nature. So for the most part, let's get into this. This is your motherfucking weekend. Now, everything has an overall theme. And don't forget, there's a motherfucking grand trine right now. So anytime there's a grand trine, that means it's a grand opening. When you look at a triangle, that's a grand opening. So it's a gift. So when you see, women having children, we call it gifts. When we give people presents, that's giving somebody something in the present. Not when they're, not when you have to wait till they're gone in the future and they become the past. You give them a present now in the present. That's a gift. So a gift is something that's being presented. This is why presented is in the same energy signature frequency of present and being in the present and presenting something, because whatever you present, you're taking either from the past or you're taking from a future reference, which is a thought, an idea, and you're trying to draw it into the present. So, the more people put energy into that, they end up having an aura, and that aura we call it a presence, and you can feel somebody's presence. So anytime you feel a presence, whether a person is dead or alive, that just means they dead from this realm of reality, but they took a body in rather somewhere else. But regardless of that fact, that person's spirit, whatever they put a lot of energy into, they created a presence. Because they drawed a lot from the past or the future and brought it and stabilized it and and did a lot of the five. A lot of the five in the womb on its travel. And it created a presence. So being in the present, having presence, and things of that, all of this is correlated to the triangle, the gift. And the triangle is correlated to the 9. And the 9 will be the top of the triangle, and then you'll have the 3, and then you'll have the 6. And this is the outer layer frequency. Like, remember I told you numbers is frequencies. It's the behind the scenes realm. So when y'all talk about the other numbers, those are after the fact. But 9 is really first. So 9 ain't what you actually counting. I told y'all numbers is not the physical representations of how y'all add and subtract. Those are just the physical manifestations of an energy signature that's already planned out. And 9 and those group of spirits and entities created their rotation within the womb. And those entities were first. See, you are being a 5, right? So you're anchoring yourself in a realm of reality, but the way you created yourself as a spirit also is offspring after the fact. There was beings and spirits here that created different forms and shapes on other frequencies. This is why the frequency you are in as a spirit, all the bodies you created, and conscious bodies and light bodies you created for yourself as a spirit, is under the 5 frequency. The 5 frequency came after the fact, but those group of beings created perfection. This is like a group of rebellion beings. You could call this like the 144,000. Y'all think this has something to do with Jesus? No, this has something to do with all the followers that follow Lucifer. And whatever kingdom or government system Lucifer was in, he didn't see it as perfect. The same way you look at your government now, you don't see it as perfect. So you rebel or do certain things in order to change it and go create your own kingdom or things of that nature. So when we talk about the 5 energy, that's those group of beings. You see what I'm saying? That's those group of beings, and things of that nature. This is where you get the 4 and 4 and the centerpiece. So you think it's 144,000, but like I told y'all, this is a spiritual group, and you can't be adding with numbers when we talk about these frequencies. So remember in my last video when I was talking about the 5 represents the perfection because it anchor. That's just perfection in this realm, because Lucifer wanted to perfect whatever he thought lacked from the government that he rebelled from. So when you look at the 5, those group of spirits, the 144,000 that came with Lucifer, is not number like those groups. They came in the number of 5. Look, 144, right? That's now look, what's anchor in the middle? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. right? Now, these are just really two polar opposites of the same spectrum, but you have a masculine version of it, which came from the feminine version of it. So it's like a mirror. But what anchor these two attributes is the phi in between, the body, a womb, something that could perfect something, something that could be stable, because we know the only thing that's stable in God's kingdom is change. That's really the only thing that's stable there. But, you know, these group of beings didn't want to see it like that. They want stability in their own imagination and dream, and not stability in that version of dream, because that's chaotic. But for the most part, they're just offspring. So it's just they don't understand. Oh, same way you have people, elders in your life, who may be still going along with outdated knowledge or outdated wisdom. So you don't see it in the same way. So you want to go formulate and construct it, which is, you know, depending on what your spirit is birthed from, that's what all our spirits want to do. But that's really the 144,000 is just the one. That's really the phi, the anchor, because everything becomes one in all realms of realities. So whether you're a phi type of spiritual being going along those spiritual systems that was created by those spirits, whether you are a 3 type being, whether you are because you think you are a 3 type being. No, you just have frequency vibrations of the 3-layer realm being we are in. But you, as your spirit astral travel group, y'all on a lower spiritual scale. Y'all going on a 5, which that's higher than other spiritual scales, but that's lower than others. And it's just a frequency, you know. And and it's just spirits that wanted to maintain a certain thing that they was attached to. So you have certain beings who have did that before you, and you're just going along with their path on how to do that. So this is where you get all the concepts of people being scared to die, people adding emotional attachments to things that if it wasn't here, you wouldn't be able to survive, and things where you have to realize each realm of reality don't survive, or you don't even get birthed in the same way. In every realm of reality, every realm of reality is constructed different by default based upon space and location. So, you know, when we talk about the 9, 3, the 9, 6, the 9, 6, and the 3, this is from the higher triangle. So we're getting so in this realm right now, we're getting a gift from a higher spiritual beings that's in higher bodies, lighter bodies. We're getting a gift from them that we may not understand, and that gift is being shot down through our filters in a way that we can understand it. And our filters is our lights, our solar system. So our filters, the way we're going to get this gift is through Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune, because Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune is what's giving us a grand trine right now. So I don't know if I should speak about that first. No, we're going to speak about that last, because I want to go a little bit in depth in that. First of all, I want to speak about the natural energies that's going to be going on right now. We have the motherfucking sun in Cancer. Now, this week, Friday and Saturday, now, be aware, it's cuspy. So we're still in the energy of Gemini still, but just that Gemini is being backed and supported by Cancer energy. So right now, the overall theme is emotional depth. You know what I'm saying? Emotional depth, because the moon is also moving into Scorpio. So right now, we have this little dilemma. We got this little cusp that we're going to fill with the sun and fill with the moon, because it's a trine, but also it's a trine through transition. So this transition may appear to be off scale. For an example, you know, with the moon going in Scorpio, and, you know, the sun being in Cancer, a lot of times you can still feel a square effect. You know what I'm saying? Because Libra, it's just leaving Libra. You know what I'm saying? It's still in Libra right now. So be aware of that. And, you know, Cancer is just sliding in Cancer. So even though it's like an outer sign square, you're still going to sense ramifications. Now, what do that mean? And this is it's like semi. So what does that mean? It's going to be semi ramifications going on. So that means your actions, and other people's how they react to your actions, and vice versa. Other people's actions and how you're going to react to it. It's going to have a sense of, you think you agree with it, until the action and reaction start to apply itself, and then you're going to start to see, oh, this ain't everything I agree with. So it's like a sense of camaraderie, but then when you dive into it a little bit, you get a sense of, wait, this is not camaraderie at all. I may have thought too fast, or I may have just been in a certain energy, aka you're in the energy of this being a trine. So you're in the energy of being harmonious, but once you dive into the thing that you harmonious with from that first connection, you realize this may not be something you should totally dive into with your full harmonious nature, 100% wise. If you get what I'm saying. So those little pieces, it's going to be in the air, but it ain't going to last long. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to last long. So just be aware of that. I just want to give you the most sense of little shit. Now, when we talk about the sun going in Cancer in general, you know, the actions is going to be in the heart. You know what I'm saying? So the actions is going to be in the heart space. It's going to be, so, you know, everybody's actions is going to be reactive right now. So you're going to find yourself acting on reactive type things. Now, what are reactive type things? Things that's correlated to the yin realm. So this is dealing with emotions, feelings, thoughts, you know what I'm saying, imaginations, you know, and other people's actions and other people's, the way they're responding and what they're concerned with. So this is with the actions and how so the sun represents your actions, how you see things, what you're consciously aware of, how you view things. So that's what's going to be the energy on the world right now, or what we need to act on, or what we're going to be forced to. And it's either going to hurt us, put us in detriment situations, or play out in positive ways based upon our sun alignment with this. Whether it's your sun is a square today, so it's important to know this, because if you already know your sun is squaring or opposing today's sun, then you already know that a lot of your actions, you should not go fully through with it. Observe the situation so you don't place yourself in a circumstance that you didn't have to experience. So you can prevent a lot of things by knowing this. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, with the sun being in Cancer, it's putting all of us in a situation where our actions and the things that we're paying attention to and the things that we willing to act on is reactive type energy. So we're reacting to our imaginations. We're reacting to other people's actions. We're reacting to vibes. You know what I'm saying? So we feel the need to act on vibes. So a lot of times, be careful, because your actions may not even be logical at this time either. You may act on vibes and feelings. So you may be like, man, I'm about to do this because I just feel this, instead of observing and being like, man, I should do this, but I should do it in this kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Which is using a mental body. And that might not be used. And matter of fact, yeah, happy flight day to all you motherfucking Cancers. Goddamn, how can I go with this video without saying that, man? Happy flight. Go. Happy flight day. Go. Motherfucking, I got a brother that's a Cancer too. So yeah, happy flight day to y'all motherfuckers. Damn, how the fuck can I go without saying that? I got a motherfucking niece that's Cancer too. Yeah, I think I got two nieces that's Cancers. If I ain't mistaken. No, I think I just got one. Tripping. Alright, now let's get into this shit. No, I got two. I'm tripping. I got two. I'm tripping. Alright, now Scorpio moon. Yeah, shout out to all my Cancers out there. Shout out to all my Cancers. Now the moon is sliding her monkey ass in motherfucking Scorpio. So, you know what I'm saying? Be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? This means, now the moon is forcing us to react, forcing us to respond. Now, remind you, this is going to cause a trine. But reason why this whole theme is emotional depth, because this trine is in water. You see what I'm saying? So we got cardinal water, which is the sun is going in. So that's initiating. So that, look at that like the wave. Look at that like the version of water you don't see yet. You know what I'm saying? So when you first see a wave, that make you pay attention to it. But think about it before the wave. So before the wave, it's just vibrations. So this is what Cancers do. They like to initiate and create the vibe. They don't like to be controlled by other people's vibes, aka the mutable version of water. And they don't like to stay fixated in their own vibe or stay fixated in somebody else's emotional grut, which is aka the fixed water. They like to control the vibe the way they see fit. Now, the moon is how we react. So since we're acting on reactions, the moon is forcing us to react, and we're reacting with emotional depth. So it's sliding in Scorpio. So you still gonna have that little sense of Libra. You still gonna have that sense of feeling the need to relate, or react to harmonious, or react to being relatable, or react to communicating. But now it's sliding into darkness right now. So you're gonna find yourself having to react to your inner self. React to your inner desires, react to your inner passions, react to the inner vibe right now. So, you know, with this trine, this trine is powerful because water is powerful. So be careful not to confuse, because if you are a water sign, you could get took over with this energy right now. If you are a fire sign, also you get took over with this energy and place yourself in a situation where you be too expressive and you get your fire put out. Or it could be in vice versa. You end up evaporating somebody else's water. Now, what do that mean in astrology when fire and water clash? Because if you are a person who got a lot of water and fire in your chart, then you are a steamy person. And steam is a higher octave of fire and water. So when you see steam, that's more powerful, right? So this means a person who got access to motherfucking fire and water at they access, y'all could be powerful if y'all don't let this if y'all don't get absorbed and lose yourself into the polar of yourself. You could lose yourself in the water or lose yourself in the fire. So you place yourself in situations where you may hurt yourself, because you may put your own fire out at times where your fire need to be seen. Then you may evaporate your water sometimes when your water need to be seen. So you need to understand how both of these work together and become the true steam. And steam is higher, the octave. And what you'll understand is the lighter the element, that was first. So since we down here and we're a mixture of a bunch of different elements, we have to combine and fuse these motherfuckers to see the separateness of it. So steam is actually first before fire and water. That's what y'all need to understand. And we have to take both of these and put them back together to see the new outcome, to see the actual old spirit play out the old actual energy signature of it. That's why it becomes a lighter body. The lighter the body it is, that lets you know it was here before you. The heavier the body, that lets you know that took many different shapes and forms and transformed many different times to be remixed. It's re-rocked. So you in a physical form right now, this is re-rocked. So you as a spirit, you done made some new type of dope to use to experience your dreams and imagination, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's all common sense is way beyond educational sense. You see what I'm saying? Now, so the moon takes us there right now. So we're going to find it's so powerful. We're going to find ourselves reacting and responding, because that's what the moon is making us do. We're going to find ourselves reacting and responding to our deepest vibes. And sometimes these things need to remain inner. And there's really no expressions or words to even bring these to the surface, to be expressed. So all my Scorpios understand this. Y'all understand all that depth y'all have to hold in, because y'all are aware of so much depth that others aren't. Because when you come across the common earth or air sign, that depth, they don't even, is not even aware of it, because with an earth and air sign, with that depth, there's no words for it, or there's no shape and form for it. So they don't even look, they perceive it, but they don't even look at it like it's something real. So a lot of times, if they get too airheaded or too earthly and practical, as far as a person with a lot of air in their chart, a lot of earth in their chart, they bypass these things. You can't do this as a Scorpio. You live there. But then, since you know it ain't no words or shape or form to bring it to the surface to explain it to others, it's something that you automatically have to hold in. So you end up creating an aura for yourself by default that you don't mean to. Then others have to look at you in ways that you don't really see yourself. They call you gothic, they call you mystic, or they call you too sexual, or they call you too sneaky, or they call you too manipulative. And you might not be none of that shit at all. But since what creates auras is anytime we hold things in from the external realm. That creates auras. Think about a sneaky person. Think about when you're around a thieving ass person. You might have never seen them steal nothing a day in your life, but you pick up an energy like, damn, this motherfucker is a thieving nigga. I can't trust this, just based upon their ideas and how they correlate themselves. Now, just by default, this might just be a person who take things from the outer realm and hold it in, and it might not have nothing to do with thieving. But eventually, if they don't learn how to release that energy, it's going to manifest into an explosion, or it's going to manifest. When you hold too much in, pressure busts pipes. So it plays out as you can explode one day. But explosion isn't necessarily aggressiveness. It's just explosion in whatever realm of reality you in. So if you are the type of person who hold in a bunch of shit from the external realm, but say you steal a lot of other people's thoughts and things of that nature, and you hold that in, it's going to explode one day, and it may explode as you just get in the nature of you actually going somewhere to steal something. And then it just manifests. But it don't start. It's always a root cause. So that's where Scorpio is at. But by the sun being in Cancer, it's going to play out in ways that you may feel the need to initiate and try to bring that here due to facts of vibes. And you want people to feel a certain depth. So you may go beyond measures to make people feel certain ways. And we got to understand this. Feelings and emotions is not really in this reality. So this reality, what y'all call real, that's not really real. But just for the sake of scientific words, the emotions and feelings on how y'all see real is not real. So you got entities and things of that nature and the energy that's being forced out that's making people want to force emotions and feelings and reactions onto others. But these feelings and emotions that these people wanting to push onto others is not being backed and supported by anything real. Anything in this reality. How scientists, aka things that's physical or things that you can see or things that make sense or things that's practical. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that also right now. Now Mercury is in Cancer, so thinking, thoughts, and communications. That's not logical right now. Also, this is based upon initiating. So people are picking up vibes. The Mercury energy right now is forcing people to pick up emotions and vibes and want to articulate that. Where emotions and vibes ain't meant to be articulated. They're meant to be the root cause and the passion for you to go what you want to articulate. You see what I'm saying? Just like the moon. The moon is the support system, and the sun goes out and work to keep things going. Same way with the woman. The woman is the support system and the foundation of the family, and then the man go out and make sure that system keep running. So the man go out and work and make sure the bills paid, or make sure this is worked, or build the house, or make sure it's safe, or make sure it's constructed, and make for the actual, because without the woman, the man wouldn't have no emotion, wouldn't have no reason to go out to keep up. So for an example, if you are a guy, you ain't got no reason to get up and wash your ass or get clean or be seen in no certain way if your ass ain't trying to attract some feminine energy, right? On any nature. You see what I'm saying? So don't get it fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it fucked up. Now, you might be lost. Now, for an example, that's for all my straight people. Now, say you gay, right? It's still the same thing. Because on a higher level, the feminine nature ain't nothing but attraction, ain't nothing but some magnetism. So even if you gay, you still wouldn't get up and wash your ass and get clean or things of that nature if you ain't want some form of attraction. No matter what shape and form that attraction is coming in. So you can't escape it in this realm of reality. I don't care what small vibration to what large vibration. You see what I'm saying? So the masculine and feminine energy is not exclusive to these physical bodies. They're beyond that. Now, based upon your spirit, you may have resonated more with one of the energies. So whatever light spectrums and whatever other being or entity that was in that space before you, when you travel through that astral realm, we call it the astral realm, but you going into another world, another body, another group of satellites that's aligned in a whole different other time structure kind of way. Now, when you go into that, based upon your spiritual group and how y'all was all traveling here, you might have resonated with one energy than the other energy. So the shapes and forms and the bodies that you create for yourself, you may have created more masculine bodies than feminine bodies for yourself, or you may have created more feminine bodies the masculine bodies for yourself. And scientists will call this like the X and Y genes. This is why females have more of these genes than the other. Male have more. It's just as a spirit, this was more the energy you resonated with. But you can't escape having both energies because everything has a yin and yang to it. Even the energy that you resonated with. The masculine has a yin and yang to it. See what I'm saying? It goes deep. For real. You have, because how you know that? You have an internal and an external. So you have an internal passive masculine version and you have an external masculine passive version. And how you would see that playing out in physical terms, if you want to see it playing out through, say you see a man, say you see one of them soldiers who just stay still, right? It don't matter what you do to them, you touch them and such, they don't budge or move because they got discipline, right? But if you do something to threaten their life, they'll fuck you up. They'll fuck you up probably way harder and more crucial than a motherfucking nigga in UFC. So for the most part, that'd be a passive masculine energy that you could see represented in it, in this realm. And then that would be an internal version of the masculine energy. Then the external version of the masculine energy will be a person who is trained like that, but then they go showboat it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And then they willing to kick your ass. They're not gonna stand still like one of them soldier dudes that what they call, so the musketeers, whatever, I don't know what the fuck you call them, but they're not gonna do that. They're gonna be showboating. They can whoop your ass, and they got training and shit like that. And that'd be the masculine. So that'd be the yang version of the masculine, and then the passive would be the yin version of the masculine. You see what I'm saying? So it goes so deep in so many natures. Feminine got that energy also. You got those you got the external yang version of the feminine energy, and you got the internal yin version of the feminine energy. And how do we know this? Let's play this out. You know what I'm saying? This is for my females right now. I never will leave y'all out. So right now, you will see this playing out through a female. You have a female who may be over exploiting her feminine energies. So, you know, her feminine energies that attract, that gain magnetism, she show these things and things of that nature, or do things that create external illusions in other ways to gravitate magnetism and things of that nature. That would be the masculine version of the feminine energy. That would be the yang version of the feminine energy. Then you have women that you see that like to close everything up. You know what I'm saying? The way they think and talk and the way they carry themselves is even wrapped up also. You know what I'm saying? So this where you would get the terms of a chick, she's stuck up or something like that. Or you know, but then when it comes to the way she dress or things, or the way she carry herself, the way she walk, or yeah, even goes down to the way she walk and twist and turn and everything of that nature. May be very secluded. So this is what you call the passive feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? The yin version of the feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? Women who try to keep their feminine energy in the dark, concealed, occult-like, behind closed doors. And, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of those females do not be conceived, because behind closed doors, they are the occult energy. Those passive girls you never thought do this before type girls. They dress up whatever. Like, motherfucker, do not be conceived. I am spiritual. Y'all probably some of the most sexual, do the most nastiest fucking shit behind closed doors ever. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all first boyfriend be going places, looking at his friends. They'd be like, man, you hit that. He be in his head like, nah, y'all never know. Y'all thought she was a nerd and shit. Y'all never know. You know what I'm saying? This shit go deep in this motherfucker. But for real, shit, man, we gotta get into these alignments and shit. But yeah, Mercury is in Cancer, man. So it goes beyond levels and shit. And I just took y'all there. Venus is in Leo. So Venus is love, appreciation, value, relativeness, and things you're willing to compromise with, whether that's a person, place, or thing. And it can lead you into bad habits to the point that you need to learn how to do things in moderation. So, you know, with Venus being in Leo, you know, this is giving us the energy of right now. We feel the need that, like, Venus is in the stomach. So we feel the need to have a love and appreciation and value for our passion right now. So we feel the need to express what we value, express what we love, express the things we're willing to compromise with. So make sure we're not indulging too much in expressing right now, because it can lead into a bad habit. But for the most part, with just Venus being in Leo in general, we're expressing what we love and appreciate and value. And, you know, we're giving a chance for other people to see it. But for the most part, it could play out in us expressing our fixated, which anything that's fixated is a habit, routine, pattern. So Leo is a fixated fire. So make sure you're not expressing too much, because you could be expressing what you don't want to be seen. And people can see your bad parts, can see your habits, can see your negativity right now, can see the things that you're stubborn on. And when we talk about fire, it's dealing with visions and visions and intuition and ways of feeling and ways of seeing things. And fixed fire is your own way. So people got their own way everybody got their own way, but right now your way may be seen to others as may not stubborn or may not be right. So be careful that you're not expressing too much of what you love and appreciate and value, because people gonna see you as a person just expressing your habits, and everybody's habits is different. So when people see yours, they're gonna be like, oh, what this person is expressing, they're going overboard. They're not in moderation. It's gonna be out of whack a little bit. So, and this is where everybody at right now. So, and if you got any type of Leo natures, be careful, because wherever it's at, whatever planet star you got Leo in, I have it in my ascendant. That's where that nature is gonna play out in right now. So I may do that as far as my personality or expressing myself or my personal issues and affairs. You know what I'm saying? I could play out in that area. All right, now Mars is in Aquarius. So, you know, Mars is your intent. Well, now Mars is okay here, you know. But you know, it's making everybody jump into their entrepreneurial space right now. So everybody feel the need to expand, but they want to expand in their own unique and original way. They want to expand in their, and then by doing that, see, that's good. See, everybody intent, willpower, passion, motivations, and desires should be expanding them on and should be added on based upon information and technology and shit like that that's dealing with Aquarius. But here's the thing, that can lead to change, opposition, and rebellion also. So when you get lost into that, we're trying to apply and create and add on and expand, right? It could create a lot of change, rebellion, and opposition, or others who rebel against you. But if you keep this on a light note, right, it'll be positive because you're able to still have your own unique and original way of going about your intent, willpower, passion, motivations, and desires. Just don't get lost because, you know, Aquarius is fixed air, being fixated on its own way of thinking and communicating. So that's good, but to a certain extent. Now, in this fixated ass realm of reality, anything that's correlated with fixed natures is going to rule this realm. But this realm is still going to show your ass that if you don't apply yourself to the cardinal and mutable at times, aka come in with something new or learn how to, when something has served its purpose and everything changed and transformed, then that's when y'all get it the worst. So y'all end up getting fixed signs end up getting all this good energy here by their fixated nature, but then they end up taking the hardest downfall also. So they get pushed up the highest, but take the hardest downfall also. So, because that's like the pattern with this realm for some reason. So, you know, with Mars being in Aquarius, this is your intent, willpower, passion, motivations, and desires is being forced to have a fixated way of thinking and communicating about it right now. So that forces you to be unique and original when you're going into your goals right now. So that's good. But if you get lost into your uniqueness and originality without being able to perceive other people's uniqueness and originalities, or other locations and spaces and areas uniqueness and originality, or being able to know the uniqueness and originality of the space you are in, then you're going to get lost into that, and then it's going to become a change, rebellion, and opposition situation, whether you're the one trying to change, rebel, and oppose against someone else's desires, passion, motivations, and goals and intentions, or you got someone else trying to do that to you. So that's how that play out. Now Jupiter is still in Scorpio, you know what I'm saying? So we got this kind of grand square going on too. It's a grand square going on, because we got three planets squaring each other. Now Jupiter is in Scorpio, so it's still in Scorpio. So that means the wisdom and knowledge in our experiences is still in depth, and in the vibrations that we're catching, and how we extract wisdom and knowledge and place new meanings and reasonings on things is in depth right now, like real darkness. So it's real cult light. We're placing new meanings and reasonings amongst the deepest natures of us right now. But with this grand square, see, you got Venus in Leo, Mars in Aquarius, and Jupiter in Scorpio. So this is now when we talk about grand squares, this is a grand learning process, because when we talk about the square, the number 7, 90 degrees, I mean not 90 degrees, but motherfucking the 7 squaring itself off the box. This starts from the line. So it's a spiritual travel. It's a spirit taking the first body coming out of the 0, which it goes into the 1, and that's like your soul, which is the first layer and body you create for yourself, first light body. And you know, with this body, it travels through many different other bodies to create layers for itself. So it keep pushing through, and that's like dying. This is what they call pain is love. It's transformation, but it's just your spirit forcing itself through a bunch of different layers and creating a bunch of different bodies, so it can add on and experience more slowness, more experience in that dream and imagination it's creating for itself, aka the bodies, the worlds, the layers. And the first one is your moon aspect. So when we talk about a square, that's like looking at one spirit travel. So this is why we're under a 7. We're under a solar system. We're under an angelic spirit, but a Pacific angelic spirit, not the overall spirit. A lot of y'all want to call this one spirit the overall God, and that's that one spirit having y'all lost in a religion to try to make y'all think it's the only one, and it's not. And then it plays out in a bunch of different ways. Y'all correlate to one piece of the body as the overall, where every cell has a spirit of its own, but it's just in that overall spirit astral travel. You see what I'm saying? So y'all get lost in a bunch of deciphers and concepts. But before we get too deep into that, you know what I'm saying, this is a square. So we have, what kind of square this is, we need to is giving us fixed things we have to learn from. And with these fixed things we have to learn from is we have to learn new ways to communicate. So, and then we have to learn new ways of how to deal with the emotions and feelings. And we also have to learn new ways of how to express ourselves and how to see things. So that's fire, air, and water. So that's what this square is doing. And it's doing it in the nature of Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. So it's doing it through our natures of the things that we love and appreciate and value, whether that's a person, place, or thing. It's giving that through the natures of our experiences, which is the things that we extract wisdom and knowledge from, and meaning and reasoning. And it's giving us those energies through the signature of our intent, willpower, passions, motivations, and desires, which would be Mars. And I just ran down Jupiter and Venus. So, you know, that's how that's playing out with this square. Now, let's get into these before my phone run out of fucking minutes. I mean, not minutes, but space. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been going 35 minutes. Now, for the most part, the sun opposed Saturn right now. So this is creating a restriction of actions. So be careful of your actions or how you view things right now, what you're constantly trying to push out, because for the most part, you're gonna find yourself creating a boundary, restriction, or limit, because your actions is at odds with how other people see reality at the moment, and then it's in vice versa. How you see reality and how you gain structure in your life is at odds with other people's actions and how they act. So it's in differ. So to make this a give and receive match, other than a tug of war match at the moment, you may have to set aside the way you act and how you see things for the sake of how other people see reality and how they gain structure in their life, and vice versa. You may have to set aside how you see reality and gain structure in your life based upon other people's actions and what they're consciously aware of at the moment. So that's what's going on right now. The sun opposed Saturn. Also, the sun trine the moon. This is actions cause reactions. So we need to double back. Because with the sun trine the moon, the trine gives a gift, right? So this means your actions and the way you act and how you see things has the gift of causing reactions. Now, this is not saying the reaction is going to be negative or positive or neutral. We need to know that based upon the other alignments that's going on to know how that plays out. Now, like I said, the sun opposes Saturn. This means your actions is going to cause a restriction. So that means with the sun, since Saturn is in a higher place than the moon is closer to us than Saturn, than the organ Saturn, the star Saturn. So this means that the Saturn has more influence than this. So we would have to align the Saturn energy first. So since the sun opposing Saturn playing out negatively, then the octaves under it the way they play out is going to be under that octave. So the sun trine and moon, your actions and the way you act has the gift of causing reactions, but these reactions may be the reactions that show you your boundaries, your limits, your restrictions, things you shouldn't be acting upon, because when you act upon it, it's going to cause negative type things. So keep that in mind. Now Venus opposed Mars. So this is a war between your love and desires. Because Mars is your desires, you know what I'm saying? And Venus is your love. So it's at odds right now. You see what I'm saying? So what does this mean? This means the people, places, and things that you love, appreciate, value, and relate to, and willing to compromise with may not match with your intentions, may not match with your alternative motives, may not match with your goals, may not match with your desires and your passions and motivations. You know what I'm saying? And we could break this down on the most simplest level. For an example, right? You have a group of things and people, places, and things that you love, appreciate, and value, and relate to, aka you may got a family, right? Now, to support this family that you love and appreciate and value, right, you go get a job. Now, you got this job. Now, this job is your intentions, your willpower, your passion, your alternative motive. It's because it's something you alternatively have to do. For an example, you don't want to get up and go to work. You don't want to get up and leave your family. So you get up and go to work. And that's your intentions, because when you go to work, motherfucker, you're not going to work. You ain't happy to go to work. You're not going to work because you like, all right, I'm happy to be here, y'all, for this job. Nigga, your alternative motive and your intentions of being there is for the people, places, and things that you love, appreciate, and value, and to support yourself. So that's your intentions for being at that job, to handle your goals. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, when we got Venus opposing Mars right now, these don't match up. You know what I'm saying? Like your job may not be supporting your family right now at the moment. Like your intent, willpower, passions, and motivations may hurt something that got to deal with your love, appreciation, value, and relativeness and compromising. That might need your time at this moment. So they're not, and then the people, places, and things that you love, appreciate, and value and relate to and compromise with, aka Venus, right? These may play out as examples at the moment as being road blockages or being cages for your intentions, your willpower, passions, motivations, and desires, or your goals. You know what I'm saying? So they're not mixing and mingling right now. So to make this a give and receive match, other than a tug of war match, right now, sometimes you may have to set aside a little bit of what you love, appreciate, and value and relate to, for the sake of your goals, desires, and passions, so you don't be putting all of your eggs in what you love and appreciate, what you will, and your family members or friends or your circumstance that you have to compromise with, and not letting them block your goals and things of that nature. So you may have to set a little bit aside of that for the sake of that, and then vice versa. You may have to set aside a little bit of your intent, willpower, passions, and motivations and desires, and give a little bit of time to the people, places, and things that you love, appreciate, value, and relate to and compromise with. So that's what's going on right now with that. Now you got Venus square Jupiter. This is tough love, because see, with the square is a learning process. So in your life that's dealing with your love, appreciation, value, and relativeness, and the things that you're compromising with, Jupiter is going to bring experiences, because Jupiter is expansion. But the only way you can expand is going through experiences, and through these experiences, you're able to extract wisdom and knowledge and place new meanings and reasonings on these experiences, and that expands the mind. So that's what Jupiter, they call it beneficial, but really Jupiter, it didn't necessarily tell you the experience is going to give you is going to be good. Sometimes your ass need bad experiences in order to extract wisdom and knowledge and place new meanings and reasonings to expand your mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Jupiter is. But reason why they will call it beneficial from a broad standpoint, from a broad point of view, is because any experience is a good thing. Because without experiences, you wouldn't know what to do or what not to do. So whether the experience were bad or good, if it was bad, it's still a good thing, because you was able to experience something to know what not to do the next time. So that ultimately, Jupiter is good, but I just be having to break things down because a lot of times astrologers don't be knowing why it's good. You know what I'm saying? So when they explain somebody Jupiter in their life, and then a person experience something bad, that person would be looking at astrology like astrology ain't real. When an astrologer is supposed to break it down how I just broke it down. Jupiter ain't talking about positivity all the time. But overall, this is why they feel that energy. You see what I'm saying? You gotta get spiritually inclined. Now, you know, it's bringing tough. Well, the reason why I say it's bringing tough love, because the square brings a learning process. So a lot of times that play more into a feminine energy. See, what y'all need to understand is this: trines and sextiles is energies you give off. So that'd be masculine. The opposition and the square is energies you receive from the outer realm. It's energies you receive from others and places and things. So that's more feminine, because that's what's attracted to you. That's what's manifested. And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, and then the conjunction can play through all of those. So you got the power, but you have to be not too passive, but not too external with it. You know what I'm saying? And not be too power and controlling over that in that area of life. You see what I'm saying? When it's a conjunction. So keep that in mind. So when you're receiving squares and oppositions, you're receiving other people's trines and other people's sextiles. So say you're in a business, right? And you see somebody, and then you see somebody getting ahead more than you, and you get upset. That becomes, you receive that energy. That becomes your square and opposition. Because now you're going through, that's your opposite, because they're doing something you're not. And then it's a square, something you have to learn from. You're trying to learn why you're in a position that they're not. So that became your square and opposition. But see, that was their sextile and trine, because that was their gift. And because that's a trine. And then that was their opportunity. Sextile creates opportunities. You see what I'm saying? Now, like I said, all these could be good or bad. You can have good or bad gifts, good or bad trines. You can have good or bad sextiles, good or bad opportunities. You can have good or bad learning processes. squares. You can have good or bad obstacles, oppositions. What makes them good or bad is what actual two planets is aligning each other. You see what I'm saying? That's what you need to pay attention to. Every planet don't get along with each other. So say if you have Venus opposing Mars, that might play out. That might be a negative opposition you got. You got negative. You got bad obstacles. You see what I'm saying? But say if it's Venus opposed the Moon, they get along. So you might be a person who in your life who go through a bunch of good obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Your situations that's opposition to you be shit that leads you into positive shit. Be shit that leads you into positions that you want. Be shit that you see what I'm saying? These obstacles lead you, and these obstacles don't lead you into saying why I can't do these, why I can't do this. This obstacle leads you into having a person that was doing what you was doing that can help you. It's different. It's different, but you got to get down into it, into the root of shit. But yeah, that's Venus squaring Jupiter. It's tough love. The things that you love, appreciate, and value, Jupiter is gonna bring experiences in there for you to learn from these things. So you might be, if you have a habit that led into something that you know you're supposed to do in the moderation, Jupiter is gonna bring those experiences in your life. It's gonna bring people, places, and things that show you like, look, motherfucker, this is a habit. It's not nothing that you just appreciate and value anymore. It turns into a habit. And you're compromising too much of your other life with this shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's what Jupiter is going to help Venus learn. And Jupiter is higher up there than Venus. So Venus is going to be taught by Jupiter. Venus don't be teaching Jupiter shit unless Jupiter choose to learn from Venus. Just like if an older person choose to learn from a younger person, which a younger person be having all the knowledge, but since the older person has wisdom, a lot of times it becomes a clash between knowledge and wisdom, because knowledge is being experienced every day, but wisdom have already been experienced. So if you get too lost into wisdom, you end up creating a blockage because you don't receive any new knowledge. Knowledge is newness. Wisdom is oldness. But they're like one and the same, but they're kind of not. You see what I'm saying? They helped each other out. So, the wise of the old and the young of the knowledge supposed to help each other out and not clash. When things clash, that's not balance. When they're helping each other out, that creates balance. Okay, now, when we talk about the moon is opposing Uranus. So this means respond to changing. So we find ourselves reacting and responding to rapid changing right now. Uranus is rapid fast. It's higher up there. So you think it's moving slow. So it takes slower to move based upon our space and location. But once you understand vibration, the faster something is moving, the slower it appears to be going. So this is letting you know that from our perspective, Uranus brings